Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Awards Whisperers. I'm John Luce. I'm
I'm
joined by,
Francesco.
and we are the best.
We really are.
We are old awards friends from the very, very beginning of, can we say the name of it?
uh can we find something that rhymes with it?
Oh, like Bold Clergy. We started there many decades ago. We were part of the rebellious group that got banned. Are we allowed to say that?
Well,
Um,
did we get banned or did we just leave?
it
Because that's what
was.
I tell people. We were like,
I
just
mean,
bye.
it was. Yeah, we were too. Our group was just too smart for that crowd, and we struck out on our own. So it's been a long time coming. I'm very excited to discuss awards with you,
Yes,
Francesco.
likewise.
We're
No,
not
but
just
really,
getting.
this is a long time coming because I've been basically just talking about Oscars to myself for most of my life. And then at some point I'm like, is this normal? This is not normal. I need to find someone who's just as obsessed as I am with these, and then we can just, you know, inflict it on other people.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for letting us inflict our Oscar brains onto you.
Yes.
Um, we gotta talk. We gotta do this.
I think for the sake of just this being the first episode, we were saying we're going to cover all the categories above the line, which seems ambitious but manageable. And it just so happens that supporting actress is the messiest category once again.
Oh, huge mess.
Huge mess because second year in a row, the ostensibly the favorite, the front runner, was like, "No, I'm too good, and I'm actually gonna get moved to lead and see you peasants,"
Yeah.
and then everybody else is like, "Okay, now who's gonna win?" And yeah, I'm not. It's October, so part of I should we should have prefaced. A lot of this is just what I want to happen. Yeah. And also, a lot of this is also reflective of opinions of movies that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
I think, in particular, one specific movie that I think we're both kind of dreading.
There's a lot of movies in here where I'm like, I just don't believe the hype. That's my kind of go-to. Because like I'm a doubter. So but I'm excited to have this conversation because I need to get it out of me.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to get started with supporting actress?
Sure, yeah,
Okay.
sure. The biggest mess.
Yeah.
So we're doing. Do you want to do ranked or do you just want to do like any order?
I have them in alphabetical order, but I could probably whip up a ranking real quick if you wanted to.
Oh, let's just do the five we think are.
Okay.
It's too early for
Okay.
rankings anyway, but I have. I'll go first.
Yes.
I have Queen Sandra Hüller. For Zone of Interest, Devine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer. I'm going to put America Ferrera in for Barbie. And this is where I'm edging The Color Purple. Right now I have Taraji P. Henson in just because
You do. Okay.
yeah.
Is it yet?
And the wings I have Penelope Cruz and Rosamund Pike right now.
Yeah. This is complicated because we have the first three you named are also in my prediction. So I have Emily Blunt, I have Sandra, our Queen Sandra, and Divine Joy Randolph because I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then for now, because if we're being honest, so the trailer for The Color Purple came out, the poster came out, and what do you think about them?
I should preface this by saying I absolutely love the original movie.
Me too.
Whoopi Goldberg's performance is one of my favorite leading actress
And
performances.
Oprah. Yeah.
And Oprah is amazing, and Margaret Avery is amazing.
I mean, we're gay. It's it's The Color Purple, and we're gay. So
And I read the book in high school, and I remember loving the book. And so, I never had learned anything about the musical, and so seeing the trailer, I was like, "What is this?" Like, it just seems so incongruous with everything I knew about the book and the movie.
yeah.
So I'm in the camp right now of, well, first of all, I don't think anyone in the trailer looked that good. Um,
Okay.
the original trailer. Maybe Taraji looked the best in the original trailer. Holly Bailey looked pretty good, but I know her role will be a lot smaller than the other women. So I'm at the point right now where I think it's like it depends on. There's going to be the people who see the movie and just associate it with the original and the Oscar pedigree that it had before. Like it's this classic movie, kind of like West Side Story. And it's like, it doesn't matter if it's not great; they'll still vote for it. Like,
Okay, so that's right, because that's where I'm with it. Because so the back to back of the poster and then the trailer, I was like, this looks really unserious to me. I don't know, but it's also kind of like Maestro, which I think we're going to talk about. It's one of those movies where I feel like it only needs to be decent to get nominated, and it might be decent. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know. So for now, I have it in like two categories, but like two tags, like sound, I think, and costumes, something like that. I just was a little perplexed with what they're presenting in terms of, the trailer especially. But then again, it's, I think, one of those films that just kind of needs to be okay, and then it's going to get nominated. I am still unsure in terms of how the acting nominations are going to play out for it, where it could like get Best Picture and it could get even like Best Director and not get any actors in. But all of this is to say that so we were saying Blunt, Hüller, and Devine, and then I have Penelope Cruz and I have Jodie Foster in Naiad. So I'm like scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I thought about that because they are pushing her. It looks like top billing for Naiad.
Yeah,
which is very strange to me, but it might end up working to her benefit in terms of the co-lead that gets put in supporting.
What I've read is basically she's the co-lead in the film, and it's very much a performance that could easily be moved up to lead, and nobody would bat an eye. But I think they're really trying to make it happen for Annette. So if it's going to happen for Annette, she doesn't need the internal competition, I guess. I'm just not really convinced that Naiad is going to do anything, actually.
Yeah. We've talked about this in our chats. Like, I feel like every year there's this like small indie movie starring a former Oscar nominee in her like 60s that we like think is going to be their big Oscar comeback. It's like the Michelle Pfeiffer effect.
Yeah.
And it's usually like it just fills in the middle year predictions, but never actually crosses the finish line once the award season comes, like French Exit.
Yeah, although I love French Exit, and I thought she was great.
Like, it's nothing against like the movies or the actresses. Like,
I feel like we're the only two people that actually saw it. So that was a problem. Where I feel like Naiad is doing a little more in terms of like it's out and like hitting festivals, and I mean people are talking about it. People are talking about it. Are they talking about it in glowing terms? No, but it's not a flop. So yeah, I am pretty set with the first three that we named.
Yeah, too.
I think it's October, but I think they're pretty much locked in.
Yeah.
I don't know what would need to happen for Emily Blunt to not get nominated, for example. Like, I don't know.
I think she's definitely in. She's overdue, and she's in the biggest, not the biggest, probably bigger, but like this huge movie that's gonna get a lot of nominations.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question mark for me is Danielle Brooks, because
same.
She's in the like, based on what I know of the original movie, like that role is the standout supporting role. But I don't know how it looks in the musical. I know she got Tony nominated. She's great on Orange is the New Black and other things I've seen her in. But just the trailers, I just couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's like in October. That's all I have to go with, and it's not doing what it needs to be doing.
Yeah. So like back to what I was saying is I think there's the people who are gonna appreciate it, even if it has flaws. And I think there's also going to be the people who are like, this is nothing like the original movie. It's written more about the musical.
Yeah.
it takes some leaps and definitely changes the tone. And it got pretty mixed to bad reviews in its first run. I
Yeah.
got better reviews when Cynthia Erivo was the lead, but um, I still I feel like the reaction to it's going to be really interesting. I feel like it's going to hit around 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the other
Um,
thing about I was thinking too of like movie musicals that do well at the Oscars is generally, and I could be missing some things, but like generally they're musicals that have permeated the zeitgeist a little bit
yeah.
more, like um, West Side Story or
Yeah.
Into the Woods or Dreamgirls. Like they have classic songs that are part of like musical theater canon,
Yeah.
and I don't think The Color Purple has done that. The musical to that
I
extent. I
it
could be
might be
wrong.
it
I'm not a
might
musical
just
theater
be
person,
an oversight
so
on my part, but I don't know any of the songs from it. Or and I mean, I haven't been exposed to any of the songs where I'm like, okay, I at least know that one song from the
right.
musical. That's going to be like the big moment because I mean, I wasn't really that familiar with Dreamgirls, but I knew, you know,
Yeah, everyone
the
knows
big
that song.
yeah the big Jennifer
Yeah.
Hudson like song. So yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't be against any of my five getting nominated, give or take what I end up thinking of Naiad, which looks like it could be a mess.
And she kind of, you could argue she got quasi snub for the
Mauritanian,
Mauritanian
yeah,
because she won the Globe. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it does with critics.
yeah.
I feel like Annette Bening could slip in a number of places. I'm not sure about Jodie, but like it could be one of those movies that kind of like fits in here and there on nominee lists.
I feel like it's that kind of film where at SAG it gets in for actress and supporting actress just because it's the two of them. Kind of
Mhm.
like with Amy Adams and Glenn Close
Oh, it's a
with
set, yeah.
Hillbilly, what it's like they come as a pair, and yeah,
I could definitely see them showing up at SAG and nowhere else. That's definitely a possibility.
yeah. Because I'm thinking of, I don't think that this is going to be something that BAFTA voters are particularly going
No,
to, you know, respond to, or the Globes, honestly.
yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think either of them are especially like BAFTA darlings.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. No, I don't think so.
The other thing I wanted to say, or the other movie that I'm like, I'll bring it up now because Rosamund Pike's Saltburn is she's my
Yeah.
number 8 right now. I was like, I just don't know what to do with Saltburn right now. It feels
Me
very
neither.
nocturnal animals to me.
I learned today that it's kind of gay, so I'm like a little more interested. But it's also one of those films where like who's talking about it?
Yeah,
Who's actually talking about this film? Who's seen it and likes it, and who's gonna do anything for it?
right. And I'm gonna say something really cunty,
Mm,
but I have to say it. Um, okay, so Promising Young Woman was a good movie,
okay,
um, but I
but
don't think it would have gotten anywhere near the Oscar love it got if it hadn't happened in that pandemic year. If the competition hadn't been slimmed down so much.
I think what
Um,
really helped it was that Carrie Mulligan's performance was so
I think
acclaimed.
she still would have gotten in,
Yeah,
but I don't think it would have been like. I mean, I don't know how many nominations it got. I got like 4 or 5,
yeah, just about.
and she won the screenplay.
Yeah,
Um, I just don't think. To me, it was like a great Sundance type movie. It was not a. In a normal year, it would not have been a major player like it was.
it's not a movie that I rarely associate with the Oscars in terms of it's not like one of those films that like kind of like The Holdovers like feel like a big warm hug.
Mhm.
It was hard to sit through. But I think it's also maybe reflective of the fact that the voting body has evolved a little bit and they're a little more open to maybe like smaller films are a little more difficult.
Mhm.
So
I'm not
yeah,
a
I don't know.
yeah.
But I mean, it did happen, and I think she did get an Oscar, and I think regardless of how it happened, I think she's now at a point where people do pay attention to what she's doing,
Yeah.
as in Emerald Fennell, like not
Yeah.
well, Karen Mulligan too, but yeah,
Oh, she's
um,
definitely a very interesting filmmaker. I'm glad that uh, she's found this trajectory in her career. I'm very interested in seeing Saltburn. I just don't know what its actual awards prospects are.
because I don't know if you were thinking about this, but like I was trying to also, when I was putting these together, trying to think of the inevitable sort of like returning nominee. And there aren't a lot of them, which I think to me kind of helps Barry Keoghan in a way. If you
Yeah.
want to start thinking of people that were nominated last year that are going to come back this year, because it tends to happen every year. I don't know that I have. I have one, I think, one returning nominee, which feels a little low.
And all 20?
For the acting categories. I mean,
Oh,
I might
wow.
be wrong in like not remembering, but yeah. So,
Yeah,
and
there's
it's
some,
like
there's some,
someone that I'm not even like sure it's actually going to happen. So,
yeah.
yeah,
That makes me even more like at least Taraji or Penelope will show up in supporting, um,
yeah,
have one return nominee. But we'll see.
yeah. Okay. Anything else?
I also want to add, I think if Sandra Hüller gets the double nominee, which I think she's a very, very likely, I think that makes her a big threat in supporting actress.
Yeah, more so than an actress probably, but yeah,
I think so too. So I think people are definitely underrating her on that. It depends on how much traction like Devine Joy Randolph gets, or I guess if one of the Color Purple ladies also somehow breaks out. But otherwise, I think she definitely has to be considered because that'll be a huge media thing, a huge narrative thing of like the first foreign actress to be nominated, double nominated.
yeah.
And she's supposedly like I've not seen it, but freaking terrifying.
That's
And I
what
love
I heard too. I
I
think a
love
lot of it
seeing.
depends on how well the movies are going to do in general.
Mhm.
Um, because had it been an American actress who was a bit more established here, not to say that she isn't, but it would have been maybe different. But I'm on the side of I think Anatomy of a Fall is pretty solid,
Yeah,
and Zone of Interest is a little bit of a question mark still. Even if Anatomy of a Fall kind of got hit by that snub in foreign film where France was like, no thanks, we're sending Juliette Binoche. Which I mean, I love Juliette Binoche, obviously, but that was not, I think, what we were thinking was going to happen
that was not just
with that. But
not the
then
I think the best decision they could have made.
I don't know. I feel like having won Cannes, it's probably okay, and people know about it. It's not this like unknown foreign film that was basically going to live or die on whether it was going to get selected, but it definitely does not help, I think.
Yeah,
So, I love Sandra Hüller, and she just,
that's not the world for her.
yeah, she just deserves it. Having seen neither of these performances, she just deserves it.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of them,
I
but
don't
they've
care.
already told me. She's the double Lucy Award winner this year.
Yeah, no, fair. So, yeah. Yeah. So do you have anybody in like 6 or 7 place that you think could reasonably get in or that has a
I,
path?
well, I think I have Penelope Cruz in 6, and I have Danielle Brooks in 7. So
Yeah.
I think either of those could easily. America Ferrera is not my weakest one, but I feel like I put her in just because I think Barbie will be solid during the
Mm,
nominations, and
mm,
she's a memorable part of that.
mm.
So, given the volatility of the category, I might put her in, but she would be the one I think would have a lot.
I saw the movie knowing that she had that monologue, and then when it happened, I was like, oh, okay. I don't think that it hit me maybe the way that it hit other people. But she's also one of those people that I just want the world for her. So
Yeah,
it'd be great if it happened just because she's so great. Period.
yeah.
Um, I just Barbie is one of those films where I'm like, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Yeah, picture probably, but yeah,
We'll talk about it when we get
yeah,
to screenplay. But I think Barbie's solid in a number of categories. It's only going to win, I think, screenplay and song and production
mm.
design. Those are the three I have it winning.
You don't think Diane Warren's gonna win something?
Sorry, Diane.
Because
Uh,
I have her in.
Oh, I have Diane in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for original song. She's not winning. But she's not.
She's not. She's not
She's
winning.
definitely getting nominated
Yeah.
for her.
Do you want to do screenplays?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do the screenplay. Want to just do original since I have
Yeah.
Barbie and we're talking about Barbie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have Barbie, Anatomy of a Fall, Maestro, The Holdovers, and Saltburn.
Ooh. I have Anatomy, Barbie, Holdovers, May, December, and Past Lives.
Oh, I wanted to put Past Lives in.
Because I think if it's going to get anything, it's probably here.
I think you're right.
A lot of people have it in picture, and I'm not that brave, but the fact that people are reasonably predicting it to get a Best Picture nomination, so people have it in actress, it makes me think that screenplay is where it's definitely going to show up.
Yeah.
But I could also make a case behind stuff that I don't have in just because it's October. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I put Saltburn is just Emerald as a returning winner.
Yeah.
Maestro I'm weak on, but it feels, I don't know, very classic. Like they always have one just kind of like classic sweeping biopic.
Yeah.
Um,
Which Barbie is a biopic, by the way.
Right, yeah.
So that checks that box.
But Past Lives has really baffled me because I feel like once again I fell into some sort of portal and switched multiverses because I feel like the discourse went from like Past Lives is one of the best movies of the year, like Greta Lee is in, Celine Song is a contender for director. Then all of a sudden they kind of died and everyone was just like, no, there's no chance, it's not getting out.
Because it came out early, and I think people that liked it really loved it. And they're like, this is the greatest movie of the year, blah, blah, blah. And I went into it thinking that I was really, really going to like it. And then I just thought it was okay. And so that, like, this early in the year, that ends up kind of coloring my perception of what's going to happen at the Oscars just because I was like, it was fine. And I thought the screenplay was actually probably one of the weaker components. I do have it in just because it seems like it made enough of a splash to show up here.
I think it'll be resurrected a little bit by the Critics Awards.
Yeah.
Like not a ton, but I think it'll show up like in screenplay or maybe like a nominee for Greta Lee here and there.
Yeah.
Just enough to keep it top of mind.
Yeah. I don't think it's really a contender anymore for actor or supporting actor. And some people still have it. Some people still have it getting those nominations, and I don't. But I mean, it hasn't disappeared. I would say, it came out a while ago. I think the critics are going to be kind of crucial if it has any chance at doing anything. It needs to start with like the critics.
Yeah, I agree.
May, December, I just put it in because homosexuality reasons.
That's another movie I just don't know what to do with. It's only the one picture of it that I've ever seen. And I know what's his face is getting a lot of buzz too.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. But that, I don't know, that also feels like Naiad territory for me. It's too small. And this is like this a huge push behind it. I just don't know what to do with that one. The other ones I have waiting in the wings. I have this I don't know what to do. I started this whole podcast off being like, I'm smart and I'm right. And then like reading, I'm like, I don't know what to do with this movie. But The Boy and the Heron.
Oh.
Seems like the timing is right to like nominate a Miyazaki movie in a top line category. Like
I would love that.
But I don't know if it'll make it. So I have it at number 6.
Okay.
Because I could see it getting in.
I don't know how common it is for a foreign animated film to break out of, that kind of token category and do something in like above the line.
I don't know.
I can't think off the top of my head of another time where that happened.
Waltz
Did
with
Spirited
Bashir
Away
was
get a
nominated,
screenplay nomination?
or what's it? Sorry.
Spirited Away?
No, it just got animated.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't think Waltz with Bashir got a screenplay nominee. I know it got nominated.
I don't think so.
Animated. The Triplets of Bell got a song nomination.
Yeah.
But yeah, that might be a third.
I mean, it'd be great if it happened with this film, just because of him.
Mm-hmm. So I don't put it in yet. I'm not going to put it in yet, but I'm keeping my eye on it.
Yeah.
Adapted.
Yeah.
Go first every time.
The what?
You go first. I've been going first every time.
All right. So, in no particular order, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Zone of Interest, and All of Us Strangers.
We're almost exactly the same. Right before we got on, I had Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
And then I switched it, which I know this is wrong, but I did it. I put Priscilla in.
Ooh.
Again, just a previous winner. I think should do better than it will. And what I mean by that is I think the nature of the perspective of it being pretty, from what I understand, condemning of this is going to turn off
a lot of people. Yeah.
Gobbled up the Elvis of last year, Boz's Elvis. Despite the craft behind it seems like it's getting some of Sofia Coppola's best reviews in a long time.
Yeah.
So you're probably always in of interest. I'll say that. Thank you. I like your.
I'd feel more confident about it if it was like a Hanukkah film. Glazer to me is just a little more untested in terms of the Oscars. But I think there's like that auteur stamp on this where people that know him and appreciate him are gonna rally behind him. So yeah, I mainly am throwing it in kind of like with All of Us Strangers just to feed into my fantasy that Hüller and Andrew Scott are for sure getting nominated, and they need that kind of like padding around them a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, like if Zone of Interest is if you like were gonna tell me like it's gonna get only one nomination, this is where I would put it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I could definitely see a scenario where that does happen. Yeah.
Yeah. The other three, I'm pretty sure that they're locked in.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if one of them missed.
I actually think that I know people are probably predicting Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon, but I actually think Poor Things could win here.
Oh yeah, totally.
As a way to award Yorgos.
Yeah, because it gets a little more complicated in actress because we'll talk about it, but I feel like this is where if they really want to give it one. And I think it's going to be more than that, but like above the line, this is the most likely one that it gets.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
So I think it's a strong spoiler.
Yeah. Supporting actor?
Yeah, supporting
All
actor.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
I have Robert Downey Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Gosling,
Mm-hmm.
Robert De Niro,
Mm-hmm.
Killers of the Flower Moon. I have Willem Dafoe for Poor Things. He's kind of a perennial nominee. And then this is my John Luce maybe losing his mind, but also I feel like I'm right. And that's Jeremy Allen White for The Iron Claw.
Ooh.
And I'll explain why after you see year 5.
So this is one of those categories where I'm trying to make things happen, in terms of hope dicting that turns into predicting that turns, because, okay, so I have Dafoe, I have De Niro, I have Robert Downey Jr., who I think is actually going to win really easily, but whatever. And then I have Ruffalo, and then I have Paul Mescal for All of Us Strangers. And he's my returning nominee from last year.
Nice.
And the thing is, I know that it's not as likely to happen. This one, I feel like a lot of it is predicated upon how well the movie does, but also I feel like if people doing predictions don't talk about it and don't put it on the map, nobody else is going to, because critics are certainly not going to. Because After Sun last year was the best reviewed movie of the year, and then when it came to like for critics to actually give their awards out, what did they do? They paid it dust. Nothing. NBR gave Best Picture to Top Gun. That's what happened. It's a real thing that happened. Top Gun won Best Picture. NBR. So it feels like they're all like out there championing these smaller films, the like foreign independent films, and then when it actually matters and you actually have the opportunity to make something happen for it, you don't. And yeah.
Oh, I 1,000% think Paul Mescal could definitely get in, because it's basically a similar situation where it's one of the best reviewed movies of the year.
Right.
But now he has name recognition. He didn't have
right.
that at the same level last year.
Right.
I will say that this category is a little more crowded than actor was last year for him, but I can still totally see it happening. The other person I have that's a possible spoiler is Coleman Domingo in The Color Purple, because I could also totally see a scenario where the only acting nominee from The Color Purple is Coleman Domingo.
Or the only acting nominee from Barbie is Ken.
Right, exactly.
Which, I don't have Gosling in for now. But that is more representative of like an idea where I don't think Barbie's getting any acting nominations. But I do think that it's sort of like shaping up to be a situation where if it gets an acting nomination, it's probably him.
Yeah.
So that would be very typical.
It would be so perfectly Academy.
Yeah. Yeah. But for now, I'm like, either I put like all three of them in, including America Ferrera, or just none of them, and I'm at a point where I'm like, no, none of them for now.
Yeah. And I'll explain my Jeremy Allen White prediction.
Yes.
One is, and these aren't in any order of importance, but one thing is he's kind of the actor of the moment right now. He's very much on the rise. Two, the story of the Von Erich family is like a Greek-American tragedy.
It really is.
The saddest family. And I think part of the reason the Iron Claw has been under the radar is people don't know the story about the Von Erichs. And also, three, I feel like this has happened a couple of times where, like, Nick Nolte in, what was that movie called? Warrior. Where you get these, like, uber masculine, like, MMA, wrestling, boxing movies, and like the supporting actor category. Someone gets picked up in the supporting actor category.
Yeah, it happens.
Like Sylvester Stallone and Creed.
Yeah.
So those are my three reasonings behind putting him in. Totally my wildest prediction, but if the movie's, I think, halfway decent, it could start gaining some steam, and it's also got I think it's December 20th.
Yeah, it's got a good. It's got a good release date.
It's got a good release date.
I can totally see that happen. I actually was when I saw the trailer a couple of days ago. I was like, oh, this is an Oscar movie. Like that's very much how they put it together. Yeah. And I know this is like 2-3 months ago. People were talking about Zac Efron in terms of like best actor nomination sort of, and I think that dropped off a little bit, but I could totally see that happen too. Yeah. It is very much imagined and I think put together as a big Oscar vehicle. Whether it happens or not, that's a different matter, but it has that kind of like biopic sheen of,
for sure.
Yeah.
And I think also if there was an actor besides Zac Efron this is not against Zac Efron.
No.
If there was a more awards proven actor,
it'd be a much more, it
would be on on people's radar much more. It would just be on people's radar more.
Yeah. But I could totally see that, and I could see a situation where actually it gets more than one nomination, where it's a player for screenplay, where it's a player for cinematography, for editing. Yeah. It seems like an Oscar movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I like wrestling movies. So I'm excited to see it. I mean, also the trunks. Like,
Right?
Jack Efron in little tiny trunks. That's.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a short king. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure, I'm calling this in October, but I'm pretty sure Robert Downey Jr. is winning.
Yeah, I feel confident in that.
It's going to be like one of the situations where like we start seeing like a little sweep like going as soon as critics start announcing, and then it just takes off from there.
Yeah, it's, and I also even, I actually haven't seen Oppenheimer. I'm a bad awards person, but like some people
It's
are like,
very
he's not
much
even the best
no.
performance in the movie, but it does not matter. Robert
It's
Downey
very
Jr.,
much best actor, best supporting actor kind of performance.
the coronation.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool. On to actor.
yeah.
Here's my five. I have Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Leonardo DiCaprio, Killers of the Flower Moon. I have Bradley Cooper for Maestro. I have Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers. And I have Coleman Domingo for Rustin.
Okay, I think we matched two out of five.
Okay.
I have Bradley Cooper. I have Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers. Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers. And Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction.
Oh, yes.
The issue with me in terms of Rustin and Coleman, like I have no issue with Coleman Domingo, but like the issue in terms of predicting him is because I'm seeing like people that have him like winning, and
that's happening.
I'm kind of like, where else do you have Rustin getting in? Because it's not getting in Best Picture, it's not getting in Best Director, it's not going to get any other acting nominations. It's not in for screenplay. It's maybe getting Best Song, like a Best Song nomination.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it's this sort of like narrative behind him. I don't know that it's actually that strong if you actually look at the movie in general.
Yeah, my thought process of putting him in was that he'd have the double buzz of The Color Purple. So his name would be on top of mind for people. I don't think he's going to get double nominated, but I put Paul Giamatti out just because he got snubbed for Sideways.
Which they made up for that like the year after, but that did did happen. Yeah.
I also have Barry Keoghan. Keoghan.
Yeah.
For Saltburn as a possibility, as a spoiler,
yeah.
just because of recency bias, and he, returning nominee, and he was the number 2 last year in supporting actor. And then I have Christian Friedel for Zone of Interest as well.
Yeah.
But I'm confident actually in Andrew Scott, just because he's also been an actor on the rise.
People know him. They know him from TV, but they know him.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's getting in a BAFTA.
Yeah, 100%.
I would imagine, which will help. I'm actually not sure at this point who's going to win, and I'm terrified that it might just be Bradley Cooper by default. Because it's that kind of role where he wears a lot of prosthetic makeup, and he plays someone that we know.
Makeup.
Yeah,
they like a nose.
Which, I mean, if it needs to happen, like, fine. It's not a category where I feel particularly, assuming that Andrew Scott does not make it in, it's not going to be like a category where I feel particularly strong about any of these. But if Andrew Scott does, by the grace of God, get a nomination, then it's on.
No, I could totally, and we can talk about this when we get to director, but I could totally see Bradley Cooper not getting in for director, but still winning Best Actor.
Correct.
That is a scenario I could see happening.
Correct. I don't know where this urgency to actually give him one is coming from, but he's just piling up nominations at this point, and
he's only had one maybe where he was in serious contention.
Ish.
Most of it has been like, he got like 3 He got multiple nominations for American Sniper. He was never in any contention there.
I think he has 9 total, and I think 4 in acting. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And directing for
Saltburn. Yeah.
And screenplay.
Yeah. So that's how like I go back and I'm like, oh my god, he definitely deserved that one for X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
He never.
He has not been majorly snubbed.
No.
But I still think it's like he has 9 nominations. Let's just.
I don't know how things are going to sort of like come together for Cillian Murphy, because I think my brain is sort of like he's ostensibly the front runner, because I think Oppenheimer is stronger than Maestro and is going to be stronger than Maestro at the Oscars. But I just don't know that beyond maybe what happens with picture and director that people feel really strongly that Cillian Murphy deserves an Oscar.
I get a Birdman sense of like the movie will win all these other awards, but he'll go unrewarded despite being the center of it.
Like it's definitely winning cinematography. Like it's definitely winning a bunch of the technical ones.
Sound,
which I think is going to help. I just don't know that they're going to be able to resist the prosthetics and pyrotechnics in Maestro. And I'm concerned that it's one of those performances where I'm like, because the track record in actor the last few years is pretty dour, I would say. It's kind of turned into a shit show.
If there's a scene where Bradley Cooper turns around and says, "I've got it,"
I've got it,
and it's like a song or a tune or something, but like he says, "I've got it," he's winning.
By the way, I've got it. I still think about that scene like once a week.
Oh my god!
Once a week. That's how they decided he needed to tell everybody. Yeah. That movie happened. That's a real movie.
4 Oscars?
Yeah.
It's just unconscionable.
Best actor. Yeah. Do you have any opinions about Jeffrey Wright?
I mean, anytime Jeffrey Wright gets nominated for anything, I'm always happy because he's great.
Yeah.
But I just don't see much chatter about American Fiction.
It's just because it won TIFF.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, it could definitely pick up steam. He could definitely get in. I would not discount that.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming he gets into the Globes, because I'm assuming that this is in the comedy area of things. I think. And even though I think Dramati is actually going to win the Globe there.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yeah. There's always there's usually like a mix and match kind of situation where it's like pick some from drama, pick some from comedy, and just... Yeah, so I don't know. It's more off of the idea that it gets in for picture, and then I think it would make a little more sense. But I haven't seen it yet, so...
Yeah. That's one that hasn't... I just have to read more about it, I guess.
Yeah. Just the TIFF nod, I think, is strong.
Yeah.
It usually bodes well. So.
You're probably right. You're smart.
Director? We're leaving actress last, right?
Yeah, let's do director.
We're doing it the gay way. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go with director first. I have Jonathan Glazer for Its Interest, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, and Justin Triet for Enemy of the Fall.
We have 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Nolan, Scorsese, Lanthimos, Justine Triet. Then I still have Greta Gerwig for Barbie,
which is, I think, more likely than Glazer.
But I mean, honestly, the directors category, I feel like they're much more willing to embrace, Cold War,
Yeah.
or Triangle of Sadness last year, like
Yeah.
that more esoteric director.
That one con.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like for me, like Trier kind of checks the box of foreign, like kind of
Yeah.
like foreign token director, but also like the female director, which I think they're trying to go at it a little more consciously now in terms of it's going to look bad if we don't. And they're right. It's going to look bad. So they better.
She'd be the second foreign female director after Lena Ortega.
Lena.
Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah. Well, Jane Campion, I guess.
Oh, she's New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just feel like in terms of stats, and also I think in terms of the strength of the film, that it's likely. I wouldn't like say 100%, but yeah.
I think Anatomy of the Fall will be the dominant foreign film.
Yeah.
In terms of the nominations.
Yeah.
And I think Zone of Interest will definitely also get 3, maybe 4.
I just mainly want Anatomy of a Fall to get like 10 nominations just so the friends can like, really sink their teeth into that sunk cost situation of like, no, we still think Taste of Things is better. And just, go with God. But yeah, because I don't think they're getting in foreign now with Taste of Things. I have it in probably shortlisted, but
I have it out too.
Yeah. So yeah. Well done. I'm pretty set with like 3 of these. I think Lanthimos, Nolan, and Scorsese are kind of a done deal. And then in terms of who wins, probably Nolan, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I default Nolan, but I also it's like historically the Academy has not been kind to him.
No.
And there could be the resurgence of like Scorsese only has 1 Oscar.
Yeah. I think I would have liked the reception for Killers to be just a little warmer than it was.
It seems something people respect more than they love.
Where it's like, oh, it's good, it's solid. He is Martin Scorsese, so that does count for something. But I feel like more than anything else, Oppenheimer is gonna kind of come across as a directorial achievement. Just in terms of everything that went into putting it together, and that it would then create a narrative for actually Nolan to finally get one. Not that I feel like, also kind of like with Bradley Cooper, not that I feel like he was ever particularly like robbed, but it's like the pieces of the puzzle this year fit a little more. Yeah.
And reading also that they're going to re-release it in January. Like I feel just the overwhelming box office success of it too.
It's going to break $1 billion, I think, worldwide, which is then is
which is insanity and amazing. Like I think that could also play into rewarding him.
Yeah, I think in the Barbenheimer sort of ripple effect of things, that I think Oppenheimer ended up being the movie that probably got the most out of it. Mm-hmm. In terms of awards and exposure, and I think Barbie did what we expected it to do, which is get a lot of money and sell a lot of I'm Knuff like hoodies, and
the other I have Jonathan Glazer at 6 for me. By the way, Bradley Cooper is at 7. And then I have Hayao Miyazaki at 8. The Boy and the Heron. I don't think with Anatomy of Fall of Interest will nominate. I think that just makes it too crowded for foreign directors.
I could make a case for The Holdovers to get in director too.
Oh yeah. I can see that too.
But I don't feel as strongly about it right now, at least as I do.
He's never been considered. He's considered more of a writer than a director.
But also I feel like his movies tend to always hit. Except maybe for Downsizing.
Downsizing was a mess for sure.
Yeah, that didn't do anything. But otherwise, I feel like there's always a little bit of a buzz behind his stuff.
He's great. I love most of his movies.
Yeah,
Should
Picture?
we run through picture?
Yep.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. So in no particular, well, in alphabetical order, I guess. All of Us Strangers, American Fiction, Enemy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
We have a lot. I think we only have one.
Taste. The Taste.
Yes.
Yes.
You're gonna be mad at my other one though.
No.
Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, Barbie, Anatomy of a Fall, Maestro, All of Us Strangers, The Holdovers, Zone of Interest, and then at number 10 I have The Color Purple.
No, but it makes sense. It does make sense. And I mean, like, I just really wanted to come across. I have nothing against this film. I just don't know what this film is going to be like.
Yeah,
and from what I've seen,
for a loop.
I'm concerned. I think it's fair to say that, you know,
I have doubts.
I have doubts. But it could totally get in.
I think just of the past history of The Color Purple, the Oscars.
Which, I mean, is also a history where it got nothing.
True.
But yeah, I would say it's a complicated, layered history that if it becomes, I think, more of a contender, then we'll probably have a chance to talk about it.
And then American Fiction is my 11th.
Okay, I just don't feel. It doesn't feel correct for me to leave out the winner of TIFF if it's not a foreign film.
Right.
Because
How often that's happened?
It happened, I think, once in the last, like, 10, 15 years. Something like that. So if you look at the stats and how they match, it's kind of ridiculous. Not just in terms of it always gets in, but a lot of them win. Like Green Book won Best Picture out of TIFF.
You're right.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't know this.
Eastern
Promises.
Yeah. It's pretty remarkable if you look at it. Yeah.
Did Eastern Promises get a Best Picture nominee?
Well, Vigo got in for sure.
Yeah.
I think.
No, it didn't.
I don't think
it got Best
yeah.
Actor.
Yeah.
So that was the last time.
Yeah.
That was 2007. Wow.
So it's been a minute, and I feel like that must mean something. And also, The Holdovers was a runner-up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boy in the Heron.
Came in third. Yeah. Which I think supports your theory that it's possibly a contender for screenplay, for director. Yeah. That'd be great if he got in for director. Are you kidding me? Oh my god.
That'd be incredible.
Incredible. I just feel like I'm off by like at least 4, but then I can't really take anything out and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So
yeah, it's that last spot that is the only one I feel like not confident on.
Who's your number 10?
The Color Purple.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but even there, I feel like it's a completely reasonable prediction.
Yeah. And there's not, honestly, after that, after American Fiction, then I guess The Boy and the Heron. There's not a ton that feels like it's surging, so I don't know. This could change, but
yeah,
right now.
I mean, a lot of people have past lives in. They do. It's a thing that's happening, and I could see a path, but it needs to start hitting with like the critics. In like December, It needs to be like on lists, and it needs to get like a bunch of hardware, and then I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I can see this.
In the critic nominations.
Yeah, I just feel like All of Us Strangers were probably a little more optimistic than other people are about it, but I'm seeing it in like.
But I think all
10
of the
days, something like that.
A lot of critics awards.
Yeah, it's better. I'm terrified that they're gonna give it the After Sun 2.0 treatment. It is the greatest movie we've ever seen, and it gets nothing. And it doesn't add up in my brain. But then that's what happened. I think that obviously compared to After Sun, I think he's a little more established as a director. He already got performance nominated, and should have won, by the way. So I have opinions, but yeah, it's kind of like Past Lives in terms of it needs to start hidden early, where then it can justify me keeping it in everywhere I have it in, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. And then, like, in 2 weeks, I'm going to watch and hate it, and then revisit all of this, but no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah.
It does feel like, I will say, like, it does feel like we're due for at least one of these movies to hit wide release and
Implode?
Yeah. Because that always happens.
Yeah. What's the Babylon of 2020?
Exactly. Like maybe Maestro? I don't know. Maestro could be a mess. Probably not, but...
Maestro would need to be, like, atrociously bad to not get anything.
Yeah.
Like, where it gets, like, a bunch of Razzie nominations.
Right.
But I don't know that's... Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't sense that from it. It feels like a more approachable Disney-fied almost version of Tar.
It just... I just like it. Can it be worse than Bohemian Rhapsody? I mean, it can, but so. I mean, is it likely? How likely is it to suck more than? But I got it. So I don't know, because that would be the situation where I'm like, okay, I'm just taking it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the promotional material with, like, the two of them, like, having a picnic or something back to back, it makes me want to die. It's just the...
It is instantly annoying.
And he has all the makeup on.
Think of a number. Think of a number. We must concentrate hard.
And she just looks like she just came out of a trailer. Like, she's just sitting there, like, yeah, I just came out of my trailer, and we're shooting it, and yeah.
It's like, to me, it was like I had the same reaction as I did to the King's speech when they, like, made him, like, doing his, like, elucidation lessons.
Yeah.
Like, a thing where he's like, I was like, it's so annoying.
I remember showing that movie, The King's Speech, to my parents at the time where we didn't have it was becoming, like, more and more of a threat and, like, a favorite. And then at the end, my parents were crying, and I'm like, fuck, it's gonna win Best Picture. And then he did. Yeah. It could totally be like, like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the way that the Oscars kind of, like, waft back and forth between, like, really inspired Best Picture choices and then, like, Green Book.
Yeah.
It could totally happen.
Yeah, we got, like, Moonlight and Green Book, like that.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Organization.
They exist in this. They exist in the same universe. Yeah.
All right, should we do it?
Let's do it.
Actress.
So I'm pretty sure that we match 4 out of 5.
I'm gonna guess 2.
Okay.
My 6, I think, is your 5. So I'm.
Okay. Well, maybe. Oh, no. Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Kaylee Spain for Priscilla, and Emma Stone for Poor Things.
Yeah, we're 4 or 5.
Why'd I tell you? Yeah.
And Kaylee Spain is my 6.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I have Margot Robbie into Barbie.
Okay. Yeah.
But I have Stone, Gladstone, Hüller, and Mulligan. And the only reason I picked Robbie over Spaney, because I know the Venice stat is a really strong stat.
Super strong, yeah.
Is just, we've never, this is really uncharted territory to have a $1.5 billion movie led by a single actress.
Yeah.
And also be like critically acclaimed and probably going to get some other nominations. I mean, we'll get a couple other nominations at least.
I mean, she is getting nominated for it in picture for sure, so
Yeah.
that checks that box. I am now committed to this fantasy where it gets no acting nominations,
Which also could totally happen.
because I could not really sit here and put Gosling in and that's it. It just felt wrong.
Yeah.
Even though it could happen, because different categories and all that, but
I think the other thing that tipped me over is that she's a previous nominee. So
it's comedy at the Globes, right?
Yeah, she'll win comedy. She'll win the comedy club.
Because then, I'm looking at because I don't think there's a case to be made that she doesn't win the Globe.
Yeah. So Sydney Sweeney is not winning for that terrible rom-com.
No. That's sorry, no. Because Poor Things, I'm not sure if it's considered comedy or drama.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because okay, so let me rewind. So okay, if Poor Things is getting like pushed to comedy, then I think Emma Stone is winning that. Although I'm not 100%.
That could totally happen too.
Yeah, but I just don't know. There's something that's just telling me that it gets, shut out of the acting.
I think it could totally happen, and I also want to affirm that Spaney is more of a threat than I think people are giving her credit for.
Because the thing is, with Venice, because so Poor Things won. Poor Things won Venice, so that meant that Stone could not win the Volpe Cup. In the same sense that An Enemy of a Fall won Cannes, which then meant that Hüller could not win actress.
Right.
So there's that, because I feel like in a world where they just give it to whoever and it's not like one award per film, that we'd be looking at different winners. And then I probably would not have Spaney in, to be honest. But she did win. She is playing a beloved real life person. And it is, I think, high profile enough that people are going to watch it and feel a certain way about it.
She's the title character, which helps.
Yeah.
She's in that ingenue position, which we don't have.
Yeah.
I think Margot Robbie and Emma Stone are both past that sort of slot.
Yeah, they're like, what, 30? They're old.
No, I mean, just like their previous nominees.
No, I know.
Winner.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not like the Discovery.
Yeah.
Where she would feel like the Discovery.
Yeah.
Nominee. But Greta Lee, I have as 7. I think she'll pick up some critics nominations.
It could definitely happen. It is a very subdued performance, and I think it's also shot from a certain distance where I don't know. I didn't feel at the end of the film that I had really established much of a connection to this woman, but a lot of people did. So there's that. She's again one of those situations where she needs a lot of critics' love. Mm-hmm. And I think she could reasonably get in at the Critics' Choice. She could get her good old satellite nomination and just ride that into like the sunset.
Those, like, 6 nominee categories.
Yeah, the ones that are giving out like best actress, like 8 people. Yeah, and then for sure she is in the top 8. So that would be that. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel very confident on 4 of the 5. I think this spot is open to some movement. But
I could see Mulligan being left out. But also, didn't you feel like the second that Gladstone said I'm going lead, that homegirl here and her PR people should have been like, okay, no, let's push me in supporting actually.
Yeah, probably.
Because I could totally see her win
But they've
supporting
done
for
the
this.
opposite. They've made her seem like the top billing in the lead.
No,
Like,
I'm sure she is the lead in the film.
oh yeah, but I'm saying like in the promotion and the
Yeah.
trailer, like it's very her focused.
Yeah, but I
So
mean,
they,
had I been her wanting to win an Oscar, I would have been like, okay, this happened, and let's just think about it for a minute.
oh yeah, it should be a shoe-in for supporting them.
Yeah, because at that point, I'm like, she would be the front runner. I think I can't say that she's gonna win, but like I'd be pretty confident saying that she's in the front seat for that. Yeah.
I think I was surprised when I started compiling my best actress of how much it kind of falls off. It's not a super crowded category.
It's not. Like. It's not. And in its own really weird way, supporting actress is also really shapeless to me.
Mm-hmm. Like there's Annette Bening in the wings.
We didn't even talk about her, and yeah, it's like it could totally happen. It could totally happen.
Then I don't think Fantasia is happening.
I don't know.
I mean, sure, absolutely could happen. But I also, after last year, where they like went out of their way to not nominate Viola Davis.
With Fantasia, it feels kind of like, in general with performances from musicals, where if it's good in the singing like scenes, then generally it gets a pass if it sucks in the non-singing stuff. Right. Because that's how Emma Stone got her Oscar. And and that's how Jennifer Hudson got her Oscar. And I fucking love Jennifer Hudson, by the way. But I mean, there was a bit of a drop in terms of when she's singing to when she's just,
Oh, yeah, but she sang that song so undeniably.
Oh.
Like, there was no way she was not winning.
I would have voted for her.
Yeah.
That was the moment. That was the scene that everybody remembered from that film.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a situation where I feel like performances in musicals, there's a different metric of appreciation in a way. Yeah, where if you get the job done in terms of the songs and the dancing, if there's dancing involved, then you kind of get a pass for the rest. Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago. I'm gonna start like naming names here.
I hate that movie.
Oh God. Congrats, you can do the splits. Use your Oscar. Which, so can I, by the way. But, yeah. Are we forgetting anybody?
I'm looking at the list. There's Natalie Portman, May December.
Yes, so there's that, and that could totally happen. And also Julianne Moore could totally happen.
It seems like Jessica Lange's Long Day's Journey into Night has fallen off a cliff.
It went into the night, yeah.
Yeah.
It got there. It got there like where it needed to go. Yeah. Yeah.
But otherwise, I see things that I'm like, oh, that'll show up at like the Spirit Awards, but it's not going to show like Anjanou Ellis Taylor and Origin like that.
I've seen some people throwing your name in. Yeah. I just feel like Origin is a really odd film that people don't really know what to do with it. Yeah.
Helen Mirren and Gold is not happening. I've not heard a single thing about Vanessa Kirby and Napoleon.
There's Jodie Comer. Some people are also including her in the conversation, but yeah, I don't remember. I just remember people talking about her, and it feels like one of those actresses where she's established enough in terms of her TV work and some movie roles where at some point it's going to happen, but it probably needed to be more of a thing than it is right now.
There's a Jessica Chastain movie.
Oh yeah, there is. There's also technically a Kate Winslet movie.
Oh, is there?
Lee.
Oh, I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Oh, is that where she's the war reporter?
Yeah,
or she's
photographer.
World War II.
Yeah. Sorry.
She's going back in time to kill her character from the reader.
Yeah, and it's really the prequel to Happy Death Day or something.
Well, Saoirse Ronan is not happening. We know that now.
No, that really,
That was
that that came and went.
I
Into
said
the night too. Yeah.
I said before, the Paul Mescal industrial complex, the market expanded too fast. It was due for a correction.
Yeah, which I'm sure he's wonderful in. I'm sure she's great in it. I think it's just a problem with the film.
Yeah.
Which you win some, you lose some. So
yeah. I don't think it'll matter to his all.
No, because I don't think people are going to watch it. So
I don't think it'll register at all.
No. Who do you think is winning?
For actress?
For all of them. The acting categories, all four.
All four acting categories. So I have Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer.
Yes.
I'm in between Sandra Hüller and Davine Joy Randolph for supporting actress. But
okay.
I'm going to be bold and say Sandra Hüller gets a double nomination.
Okay.
Brad Cooper for Maestro for actor.
Yeah.
And then I actually have Emma Stone for Poor Things. I thought a lot about it, and I'll tell you why after you tell me your four.
I have Gladstone in actress for now. Robert Downey Jr. So like, I'm in between Murphy and Cooper, but for now I'm going to say Cooper. And like it just like literally had a bowel movement thinking about it. And yeah. And for supporting actress, I'm gonna say maybe Blunt.
That also I could see too. Like I think especially if the category becomes excessively chaotic.
Because it is so shapeless from here now, and she has one scene apparently that really hits.
Yeah, she'll be she'll hit every precursor.
It's kind of like a role archetype that they love.
Exactly.
Which also I think is behind my reasoning in terms of Carey Mulligan would have probably won in supporting. But yeah, her PR people are not us, so yeah.
Oh yeah, and I picked Stone.
Because it makes sense, yeah.
Because Coleman won for Yorgos film.
Yeah.
The reviews are there.
Thanks for that.
Sorry.
It did happen.
It did happen.
Yes.
Gladstone, I think would be amazing. From what I've gleaned from people who have seen the movie and from reviews, like she's the heart of the film, but she's not necessarily a showy, like big performance.
Do you know why I picked her? Because I read an article where Spike Lee was like, "I'm voting for her." I haven't even seen it, but yeah, she's great, and I feel like a lot of people that actually vote on these, that's how they vote.
That's true.
And I think
sure.
and I think she would have walked supporting actress.
Oh, she would have swept.
Easy. So the fact that she got moved up to actress and people still think that she has a shot, I think it speaks to how strong the performance is. Yeah.
I think she could easily win. I gave Stone the edge just based on from what I understand, the quietness of Gladstone's performance. That generally doesn't win.
The thing with Stone is that if La La Land never happened, I would say she's the favorite, and this is probably going to be a performance that hits more than the La La Land one for me. But they were in such a rush to give it to her for that one, when they could have just given it to the person that actually deserved it. That this then is what tends to happen, and you get nominated again for a much better performance, and you already won, so too bad.
This could also be a Tara situation where she gets nominated for what is an incredible performance, but there's
another incredible performance. It was a complicated category. Yeah,
Michelle Yeoh absolutely deserves it. I will always be clear about that. Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Literally, my hotspot is Michelle Yeoh deserves the Oscar. That's the name of my hotspot. Say hi.
Hi, Michelle. Say hi in the comments.
You know what I mean?
No, I totally get it. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think if like forgetting anything, but I don't think so.
I think we covered it.
Yeah, we covered it. I feel like these are very much in flux for me, and yeah, as I was saying, like for picture, I think I'm probably like 6 out of 10. But then again, I'm not in a place where I can like confidently replace or swap stuff out. Yeah,
I'm fairly confident there's at least one film I'm like way overestimating, and one film that I am not considering at all. That's going to be maybe American Fiction that will end up being a serious play.
Yeah, it's such a weird situation with that movie because literally the only reason I have it in is because of TIFF. Because I mean, as you were saying, I've heard nothing about it outside of that, but it won.
Yeah,
that did happen.
Since it's been Eastern Provinces in 2007, like that's a huge stat. So
yeah,
my predictions will probably look different the next time we chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like mine like once a week because I got nothing else going on. And yeah.
We're gonna be talking a lot about this. So give people.
Oh yeah. I'm also probably like maybe later on, but like I have all of them done except for like documentary, animated short, like which those are just it's like throwing darts at a board for me.
Talk about the below the line.
And foreign film, I do have the short list, but we don't have all the movies yet. So, but I kind of just want to say that in October, I think Ukraine is going to win. Just so that if it happens, I can lord over people.
See that happening.
Yeah.
The only other things I have to note of international is I have The Peasants in Poland. And then I have The Taste of Things not getting in.
No, so I have it shortlisted, and I also have Italy shortlisted, and a lot of people have it in, but I don't know. Perfect Days, the Japanese movie by Wim Wenders. I do have Koji in my top 10 for actor because he won Cannes, and because he's so handsome, and he's just wonderful veteran actor. And I think Perfect Days is also one of those films where, like, if he shows up in director, I'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That could totally happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Foreign film is like always the best category. Quiet as it's kept. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's always surprising.
Did we cover everything?
I think we did. Oh my god!
And we kept it like what, 2 hours? Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh my god. No, like an hour and 30 minutes. Okay, that's actually pretty workable. Yeah. All right.
Episode 1 done.
Episode 1 done. Yay. Yeah, I guess we're gonna try and keep a pretty regular schedule for these, and maybe like do deep dives in like specific categories.
Yeah, I would love to.
And just talk about gay things and yeah. Okay.
Talk about myself butt info. I'm still gonna see pho just so I can see his butt.
Duh. Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.